Springs.
Investigators say it happened around 11 this morning and one person was killed. We want to listen in now.
Director Akil Davis. He's from the FBI in Los Angeles.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Good afternoon. As Mike just said, my name is Akil Davis. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles field office. This morning at approximately 11 a.m. local time, our police and fire partners responded to an explosion at the 1300 block of North Indian Canyon Drive in Palm Springs, just behind us, a couple hundred feet. In addition to the FBI, Palm Springs PD, the Palm Springs Fire Department, and other agencies, including the ATF, Riverside County Sheriff's Department, Desert Hot Springs Police Department, Cathedral City Police Department, as well as the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, all responded to this incident. The FBI, which has an office nearby, responded with approximately 6 agents initially. Currently, one person who was near the vehicle is deceased, but at least 4 people are injured. I'd like to offer our best wishes to those injured and hopefully for a quick recovery. After my remarks, Chief Mills will provide a status on the injuries, as well as community safety and other road closure precautions. This explosion was significant, covering several blocks north, south, east, and west of the 1300 block of Indian Canyon. Roads are closed as there is wide debris field over 250 yards. The FBI's evidence response team is on scene right now, processing evidence, and will be here for a significant amount of time. Our bomb technicians are working with the post-blast scene as well to determine the origins of the blast. We are working to confirm the identity of the deceased, and we will provide that to you as soon as we can, but we are keeping that close hold in order to protect the integrity of the investigation. Make no mistake, this is an intentional act of terrorism. The FBI is investigating it as such. Our Joint Terrorism Task Force is here, working in lockstep with the Palm Springs Police Department, the ATF, and a whole host of agencies that I've already mentioned. If anyone has information regarding this incident, I urge them to call 1-800-CALL-FBI for any tips that might assist us in our investigation. Now I'd like to turn it over to Palm Springs Police Chief Andy Mills. Yes, Akil Davis, Assistant Director in Charge, FBI Los Angeles. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Andrew Mills, M-I-L-L-S, Police Chief in Palm Springs. And with me today is our Mayor Pro Tem, Naomi Soto, this side, as well as council members David Reddy, Jeffrey Bernstein, and Grace Garner, and our City Manager, Scott Stiles. I'm really saddened by today's attack on our city, but I'm also hopeful because this city will rise, and this city is resilient and will be strong as a result of this. I'm also extraordinarily grateful for my partners at the FBI who were here almost immediately. I called Assistant Director Davis, and he happened to be in town, and he came over here leaving his other appointment to make sure that we had every resource we need. I can't thank you enough, Assistant Director Davis. I'm also grateful for every other agency in the region here. Desert Hot Springs, Cathedral City, and the Sheriff's Office all sent officers immediately to help us, and as well as the Fire Department, who was on scene shortly after the blast. We have a rapidly evolving investigation with a massive crime scene. Our first priority was to ensure the safety of our community, and we were very concerned about secondary devices, and so we spent a lot of time and effort working with the Bureau as well as the Sheriff's Office, clearing the entire neighborhood, making sure that there was nothing that could harm our citizens any further. But now the real labor starts. With the FBI's field evidence response team as well as our detectives, this is going to take a great deal of time for us to process this scene. And I need to just communicate 2 things with our community. One, please be patient. There are blocks of debris, and it'll take a meticulous effort to make sure that we get every piece of evidence so we understand very thoroughly what happened, and so people are going to need to be patient with us. And the second thing is if they find pieces of evidence in their yards or in their homes or in their side of their homes, please leave it there where it is. Give us a call at the non-emergency number, and we will do what we can to come and get it as quickly as possible. I also want to make sure that our community understands this is an isolated incident. I am confident that the community is not at risk any longer. So we will continue to process our investigation. We are moving as rapidly as possible at multiple locations, and we are doing everything we can to make sure we understand the why as well as what happened. Finally, for me, terrorism came knocking on the door of Palm Springs. We survived. And I can tell you that this city will rise and be more effective as a beacon of hope than before. And I'm going to turn it over to Fire Chief Paul Alvarado.
Thank you, Chief. I'm Paul Alvarado, A-L-V-A-R-A-D-O, Palm Springs Fire Chief. I first want to acknowledge the horrific incident that our community and city went through this morning. And I want to assure you that the Palm Springs Fire Department arrived swiftly. Our first fire engine arrived in under 1 minute to find a well-involved building that's impacted by structural collapse. Our firefighters extinguished the majority of the fire before having to back out because of the collapse issues. We're working closely with our public safety partners to ensure the community remains safe, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. This is still under investigation, and I can't make that conclusion at this time.
So it's possible the suspect is not either dead or in custody?
I'll let our law enforcement partners speak more to that, but I cannot comment on that.
Hey folks, let's wait till the end of this press conference where we get some questions. We got 2 more speakers, and then we'll get to some questions.
I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Pro Tem Naomi Soto.
Good afternoon. My name's Naomi Soto. I'm the Mayor Pro Tem here in the city of Palm Springs. This morning is a terrible tragedy. We have 1 person killed, several others who have been hurt, and our heart goes out to everyone who has been impacted and their families. I want to acknowledge that the building that was damaged is a fertility clinic, and this is a place of hope. This is a building that people go to start or expand their families. We acknowledge their pain and concern across the community. For the ARC patients and staff, this is a building where hope lives, and we are confident it will continue afterward, as their meaningful work must continue. I also want to thank our first responders who ran towards the scene immediately and without delay. They responded and ran towards an unknown danger. Thank you to our brave fire department and our police department, and thank you to Police Chief Andrew Mills and Fire Chief Paul Alvarado for their leadership today during this tragedy. And I also want to thank out to all the different offices who have reached out to offer their support and resources, including Governor Gavin Newsom, Senator Alex Padilla, Congressman Ken Calvert, Senator Rosalie Ochoa-Bo, Assemblyman Greg Wallace, and all of our staff across so many departments who have stepped up today, including our council members and our city manager, Scott Stiles. It's been a hard day. There are several more hard days of work, but as the police chief mentioned, we need our community's patience as we move forward these next few days. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to open it to just a few questions. Sir.
Understood. It's a very good question, and I'm sure you guys will want those answers, and we will provide them for you as soon as we can. At this moment, this is what I'm willing to say regarding that. This is an ongoing investigation. We're not prepared to comment on that at this moment. We're not prepared to provide any additional comments on the relationship between the decedent and our person of interest.
Why would you be certain that there is no threat to the public then right now,
We have an ongoing investigation, and further comments will compromise that investigation.
Was the clinic targeted?
We believe so, yes.
And you mentioned terrorism. Is this domestic terrorism?
I'm going to say this again. This was an intentional act of terrorism. As our investigation will unfold, we will determine if it's an international terrorism or domestic terrorism. No matter which one, the Joint Terrorism Task Force is the lead on this, and we will find that out.
As for the explosives, do you believe that this was some type of explosive that was made maybe at home, or is this something that was sophisticated, the operation? What can you say about that?
I can't say much about that right now because it's ongoing.
Based on your experience, what is the amount of explosives that can happen in a car?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you ask that again?
Based on your experience, what would be the amount of explosives that you can fit in a car to create this much damage blocks around?
Let me be clear. This was probably one of the largest bombing investigations that we've had in Southern California. It's on scale of the Aliso Veo bombing in Orange County.
Is there a second location in San Palms on the Doby Road? There's a police presence out there. Is that connected to this potential bomb?
I'm not prepared to provide those comments at this time.
A witness found a tripod with a camera as if it were being live streamed. Have you heard this? Is that something you're investigating?
I have, and yes, it is something we're investigating.
Mark, you had a question, Mark?
Sir, at this point in the investigation, has the clinic received any threats prior to this incident?
Not that we're tracking.
So is there or is there not a suspect you're looking for?
We have a person of interest in this investigation. But we are not actively out searching for a suspect. Does that answer your question?
All right,
No
folks,
comment.
We're going to conclude the press conference. We plan to do something later. Okay, as we get more information, we'll be able to release more information. So right now, that's all we have right now with our press conference. We're concluding it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will reach out to our media outlets. Let you guys.
And you've been listening live into the press conference here, an update provided from the scene in Palm Springs from the FBI and a host of other local officials regarding one person being killed in an explosion Saturday morning near a fertility clinic there in Palm Springs. And Christine, one of the things that struck the most, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this from the FBI, saying that this, quote, was an intentional act of terrorism and the FBI is investigating it as such right now.
Yeah, and they also said it's one of the largest bombing investigations that they've done in Southern California, short of the bombing that happened at a hair salon back in 2018 in Aliso Viejo. So this is obviously a very big investigation. They say that there is debris, I think, for 200 yards. So they say that this part of Indian Canyon, which is a very popular and well-traveled street in the Palm Springs area, is going to be closed for some time.
And on that note, let's go live right now to KCAL News reporter Zach Boetto in Palm Springs right now. And Zach, you spoke to the doctor who runs this fertility clinic?
Yeah, hey guys, we did speak with the director and owner of that fertility clinic. It's called the American Reproductive Center. It's right here just north of the downtown Palm Springs area. If you know the area, it's just across the street from the Desert Regional Medical Center. Now that doctor tells us they have 4 buildings on their property. 2 of those buildings were severely damaged by this explosion. Now we're going to take you to some video to show you what the aftermath of this explosion looked like. Glass shattered blocks away, smoke rising from where that explosion took place, debris on the street. Officials here, law enforcement officials, say there's debris 250 yards away from the impact, from the explosion, and they are investigating that currently. Now, the director of the American Reproductive Center tells us that it is an IVF lab which helps infertile women have children. He says the explosion destroyed 2 of those 4 buildings. However, the IVF lab and surgery center were not affected.
So I received a call saying there was a massive explosion and that it destroyed a couple of our buildings. My biggest concern was obviously my staff and the embryos that we have in storage. Fortunately for us, our staff is unharmed and the IVF lab is intact, untouched, unharmed. So the embryos are safe.
And back out here live, guys, again, you can see it's a very active scene. A lot of media here in the area, press. Just beyond this line of press here, you can see that the ATF, the FBI, law enforcement is all investigating. They have a large area of Palm Springs here blocked off for this investigation. The doctor there who we spoke with says they have about 20 cameras on their property that they are trying to get to check that surveillance video. And it said he said he can't get to it unless he gets into that area. We saw him today. He said he was waiting to get back to that property. Still no word yet from the doctor. Guys.
And Zach, I'm curious because to Christine's point earlier, and we heard the FBI and the police chief say it as well, that the debris field is significantly large, at least 200 yards. You were driving down there, you've been down there throughout the afternoon. I'm curious from your perspective, if you can paint the picture for us here back in Southern California and then those watching at home to kind of get a sense of what that scene looks like right now from your perspective.
Yeah, well, I grew up in La Quinta, which is a city a few miles to the east of us here, and I spent a lot of time here in Palm Springs. So, you know, this area is mostly a very popular area for tourists. We're right next to the main street where there's a lot of shops and bars and places where people like to vacation. There's a lot of resorts here in this area where people will hang out at the pools, golf courses. So this is a very popular area of Palm Springs. Again, the Desert Regional Medical Center is just here behind me. That is one of the main hospitals here in the Coachella Valley. And to see this many law enforcement vehicles and this size of this investigation is eye-opening for someone who grew up in this area. I will say that the response, they said, was very quick, and it seems like they're handling it quickly. I spoke to a lot of witnesses here on scene who came and heard the explosion and walked down the street to get videos of what happened just after the explosion. They said they heard it. It was very loud. Some people say they were shook by the explosion, walked outside. They saw the smoke. They saw the glass broken. They saw the debris outside. They were trying to share their videos with me. Some of those videos you're seeing on your screen here on KCAL, and we'll continue to gather those videos. But again, for someone who grew up in this area, very shocking to see this. Law enforcement has responded. One person has been killed in this explosion, 4 others injured according to law enforcement, but people here, law enforcement, seem appreciative that more people weren't hurt, and again, they will continue to investigate. We have heard, in addition, guys, that there is a search warrant being executed in 29 Palms right now. Law enforcement says they're not ready to announce if that search warrant is related to this investigation here, but they have said that they are not looking for the suspect right now. They are not out looking for the suspect, but they would not confirm that the person who was killed in the blast is the suspect in this this explosion here in Palm Springs. So we'll send it back to you while they investigate.
Yeah, and I wanted to clarify that because they seemed kind of like cagey there and not answering, you know, why they think that the threat has been removed, but not saying that the person who is dead is indeed the suspect or the person of interest. And I think we should point out too that 29 Palms, a pretty small place other than the military base that's up there, the Marine base.
Yeah, 29 Palms, Coachella Valley is generally a massive desert, right? And the south side of the freeway is generally the most populated area of the valley, and the north side of the freeway is less populated, less buildings. That's where 29 Palms is, more of a desert landscape out there. Again, less homes, and so people in that region are reaching out to our sister stations here in the desert saying that they're seeing these search warrants being executed and that people have been asked to evacuate the area. But I will say that law enforcement did say that this is an isolated incident, this explosion that took place here behind us a few hours ago, and they believe the community is no longer at risk.
It's an important note there. Zach Boetta live in Palm Springs for us, staying on top of the story. Zach, thank you. We'll be sure to check back in with you throughout the rest of the evening.
And in a statement, Governor Newsom saying, quote, "I've been briefed on the explosion. The state is working closely with local and federal authorities as the investigation unfolds."
And U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says she too has been briefed on the explosion. She adds, quote, "The Trump administration understands that women and mothers are the heartbeat of America. Violence against a fertility clinic is unforgivable."
And stay with us for continuing coverage from Palm Springs throughout the evening right here on KCAL News. We'll have another update on Channel 2 coming up at 6 o'clock.